best of the 90s and beyond, Like FM 105.9. That was Katy Perry with Birthday. It's another Monday. It's Ingrid joining you all the way till 4 today. Yes, for 2 full hours, it's just me, you, the music, and the stuff that we're going to talk about today. So I have news for you. There's also stuff to feed your brain as usual. I try to do my best to feed you something just so you could be better in your next conversations or just so you could be better in your next conversations. And you always have something to bring to the table. If you want to get in touch with us, we're on Twitter and Instagram. That's Like FM 1059. Facebook is facebook.com/1059 Like FM. And you can also get in touch with us through Viber. I have to log into our Viber, but you can save the number. That's 0977-751-1599. And you can also give us a call over 706-1582. Also played for you John Mayer's Say Until You Do Me Right by After 7. Now let's get to the headlines for this hour. These are the things we're talking about today. Sleepiness and driving definitely don't mix. I have news on a vehicular accident that happened earlier today. The driver admitted that he was sleepy. Next headline, do you suffer from migraines often? Would you believe that there's actually an app for that? So we'll talk about that in this hour. I would love to hear from you. You can also check in with me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. You can find me. That's Miss Ingrid Nieto. That's MISSINGRIDNIETO. Let's get back to more music. We've got Maroon 5 and Nelly Furtado only here on Like FM 105.9. The best of the 90s and beyond, Like FM 105.9. It's still Ingrid taking care of things today all the way till 4. Check out the video I just shared on the Like FM page. It was released last month, but I only came across it today. So you know about that whole Yanni and Laurel, what do you hear debate, right? Then there's also the what color of dress do you see? But there was this debate on the internet on whether it was a white and gold dress, if I remember correctly, white and gold or black and blue, and people were just going back and forth. Like they would say, no, it's black and blue, no, it's gold and white. Now, are the differences in what we see or hear really just about perception, the environment, or the lighting? It's interesting how these viral memes have spurred further studies. In a nutshell, if we're talking about the optical illusions or those viral what color do you see posts, the lighting, the contrast, or if flash was used when they took the photo, these affect what colors people see. According to CNN's senior medical correspondent Elizabeth Cohen, it has to do with the tiny cones in the back of her eyeballs that perceive colors in a slightly different way depending upon our genes. Okay, if you want to read up more on this one, the link is on our page. But yes, I did post the link of what do you hear. Now, about what we hear and the differences, in the case of the Yanni and Laurel debate, if you have a low quality of recording, it's not surprising some people would confuse the second and third resonances flipped around and hear Yanni instead of Laurel. So go check out the video that's on the Like FM page. That's facebook.com/1059 Like FM. And tell me if you hear brainstorm, green needle, or brain needle. On to more music now. I did promise to play this request from my friend Julius. I don't know why he wants to hear Michael Bolton today. When a man loves a woman. If you have any request, please let me know over Twitter and Instagram. That's Like FM 1059. You can also call us up over 706-1582. The best of the 90s and beyond, Like FM 105.9. That's Tony Braxton ending my shift here with Unbreak My Heart. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. Just a few quick greets before I say goodbye. We have Iris Lee Foster, Chel Marcelo. Chel, or is this Chel? I don't know how to say your name. But anyway, thank you so much for listening and for sounding off today. Hazel, Junie, and Martin, thank you also for keeping in touch. Let's do this again tomorrow from 2 to 4 p.m. Join me again. You can also follow me on Instagram, Twitter, as well as on Facebook. It's Miss Ingrid Nieto. That's MISSINGRIDNIETO. I'll be leaving you with Percy. He's coming up right next. Please keep him company and keep it here on the best of the 90s and beyond. We are Like FM 105.9. Hey,
what's up, you guys? It's the best of the 90s and beyond, Like FM 105.9. That was I Belong to the Zoo with Sana. Good evening, everybody. My name is Czar, and welcome back to the show. Okay, we're back and we're ready to get started. Earlier, I posted a question. What is your most memorable experience with your father? And actually, some people replied. Sorry. Some people replied saying hi to Tapi. He said that his most memorable most memorable experience with his father is yung time na na-prank niya ako and the time when he got legalized for things na for adults lang. I guess it was during siguro a little over 18 and his dad already, allowed him to do some things that are for adult people. Hey, good for you. What a supportive dad. Yeah. And saying hello to Erwin. He said, nung dinrive ko yung sasakyan niya tapos binangga sa harap niya. Okay, that's pretty disturbing, but I guess your dad forgave you. So that's good, right? So anyway, for the rest of you guys, if you're feeling mushy and sentimental, go to our Facebook page. That's facebook.com/1059 Like FM, or you can tweet us and, send us an Instagram story. They're both at Like FM 1059. You can also text us via Viber. We have 0977-751-1599. And if you want to hear your voice or go on air, you can call us 706-1582. All right. So we'll be sure to read them and comment on them as well. Okay, so a while ago, I was watching a video on YouTube. And you know how YouTube now has all these kinds of ads that you get to watch before the video talaga. And that ad the ad that was playing was from a fast food chain. And it featured fathers. Like siguro young fathers who are tending to the needs of their child, or like dads who dress up in silly costumes just to make their children happy. And wala lang, I got all sentimental. And it had this certain pinch in my heart because my dad would usually, he would actually support me in whatever stuff I did ever since I was a little girl. Like I remember he'd play the guitar for me and I'd sing in front of the school crowd, or he'd come to pick me up at school to take me to football games and stuff like that. I can't remember if he cheered, but he was there because my dad's a pretty quiet dad. So yeah, there. Also, my dad used to be a radio personality himself. So when I told him about this whole radio gig, he'd give me points to work on, stuff like that. Anyway, so the ad, right? Sappy, cute, sentimental ad. I was, feeling all sentimental. So I decided to search the net to find the mushiest doting dads alive. Well, apart from our dads, of course. And Live Science actually gave us a few doting dads, okay? So, third on our list is Charlemagne. The first ruler of the Holy Roman Empire? Yeah, that's Charlemagne. Okay, so apparently, apart from him being the father of a great empire, he was actually a great dad. See, he had many children, and one of his children was called Pepin the Hunchback because of his spinal deformity. But, Charlemagne loved him nonetheless, even when the son was involved in a plot to kill his father. Instead of Charlemagne killing him, he just put him in a monastery to spend the rest of his days. Also, Charlemagne, I think, had a lot of daughters. So it was during that time he actually wanted to educate them. So at that time, girls weren't supposed to be educated. So it wasn't like a normal thing for girls to be educated. But hey, Charlemagne was king, so he said, go, free education. Anyway, yeah, there you go. Second is Nicholas II. You know the story of Anastasia, the lost Russian princess? Yeah. Nicholas II was her father. And it says here that Nicholas was actually a very concerned father because he really tended to the needs of his sick child. Well, apparently, the family called the wrong physician, and the condition of his child was used against her family. And you know what happened to the Romanov family, right? But hey, Nicholas was a good dad. And according to Live Science, I wouldn't know, actually. Anyway, and the number one spot goes to Barack Obama. Yep, the 44th president of the US of A is considered not only a doting father to two daughters, but a very sweet husband as well. Like him and Michelle, my God, goals. But okay, Barack actually wrote an open letter in Parade magazine shortly after his inauguration, and it said, "When I was a young man, I thought life was all about me. But then the two of you came into the world with all your curiosity and mischief and all those smiles that never fail to fill my heart and light up my day. And suddenly, all my big plans for myself didn't seem so important anymore. I soon found that the greatest joy in my life was the joy I saw in yours." Okay, bring out the tissues, everybody. Barack Obama won. Anyway, I'm sure all these stories of fatherly love and affection have made you think about your dad or someone you consider your father, right? So our topic for tonight is, what is your most memorable experience with your father? Share with us your experience over at Facebook. That's facebook.com/1059 Like FM, or on Twitter and Instagram at Like FM 1059. We are also on Viber at 0977-751-1599, or you can call us at 706-1582. Okay? So keep on coming. We'll be taking a break for now and listen to some music. Don't change your dial. The best of the 90s and beyond, Like FM 105.9. That was One Republic Rescue Me. Okay, this song was actually completed in just 10 minutes. Actually, the bassist started playing this lonely sounding guitar riff, and then suddenly, out of emotions and, ayun na yun. Actually, I can't think of anything more. I'm sorry. Anyway, so welcome back to the show, and soon enough we'll be closing the hour, and a while ago I posted the question, what is your most memorable experience with your father? And actually a few people answered the question. Just reading these responses, we have from Fetism. I forgot. Okay, there you go. She said that her most memorable experience with her father was when he was teaching him how to read. I guess we all have those moments when we, it was something na talagang she remembered because, I don't know, siguro it was just really, memorable. Anyway, thank you. And Diane Pama said that her most memorable experience with her father was when he told me, Diane, that his father will always be proud of her and that he'll always want what's best for her. Well, that's great. I mean, we have, fathers sometimes, it takes a lot to open up, to get our fathers to open up about our feelings towards us, and, having a father who expresses his support outright is very, very lucky. You're a very lucky girl for having a father like that. Anyway, Bea said her most memorable experience was when my dad picked me up sa bus station after my ex broke up with me. He came all the way from work. Oh, that's really memorable. I mean, yun nga, because sometimes our dads are really this not really, expressive. Tapos they show these kinds of emotion. Also, Castor Castro Mayor said that his most memorable with his father naman is that his father gave him the name because Castor Castro Mayor is a junior. So I guess that is most memorable. I think that's, he will always remember that sa father niya because it's basically his name. So there you go. Thank you guys for answering the question, and we'll be back with more. And there you have it. Thank you guys for tuning in. This has been Czar, and I'll see you again tomorrow. I'll be here from 11 to 12 midnight. Up next, we got The Wind Down. 3 hours of smooth jazz and easy listening hits. Okay guys, so thank you again.
Anyway, good evening everyone. Again, my name is Ellie. This is a show about mental health. Saying hi to my grandmother who's tuning in. She has the same name as I do. Hi Mama Ellie, thanks for tuning in. So tonight we're talking about therapy. Specifically, when should you go to therapy? So psychotherapy, talk or talking therapy, counseling, or simply therapy. No matter how you call it, mental health counseling, it can benefit people struggling with emotional difficulties, life challenges, and mental health concerns. So it's not only about having a mental health condition. Sometimes, even if you're going through a rough time lang, and maybe you don't even have a mental health concern like anxiety, depression, or other mental health illnesses, it can be a good idea to go to therapy too. So this is okay for people going through a breakup, the loss of a loved one. So it's mostly about grieving and maybe the separation of your parents, stuff like that. So if you're going through a rough time, maybe you're grieving something, maybe there's a life change in your life. Yeah, maybe there's a tough change in your life rather. So yeah, mental health after all is not only about the illnesses, it's also about your mental well-being in general. And sometimes therapy can help you with that, with life in general. Again, you don't have to have a mental illness to go to therapy. You can simply be going through a rough change in life, and yeah, that's a reason to go to therapy. So how will we be talking about that later on? We'll be listing down the 8 signs it's time to see a therapist. But for now, let me ask you our question for the night. What do you think about getting or having a therapist? Connect with us. We are on Twitter and Instagram at Like FM 1059. Facebook, that's facebook.com/1059 Like FM. You can also send us a message on Viber 0977-751-1599. Or better yet, reach us through the phone. We have a phone line 706-1582. All right. So, yeah. So the 8 signs it's time to see a therapist. Do tune in for that later on. But for now, we're giving you more of the music here on the best of the 90s and beyond, Like FM 105.9. The best of the 90s and beyond, Like FM 105.9. Anne-Marie with the song called 2002. Welcome back to the show. My name is Ellie. This is a show about mental health. And yeah, tonight we are talking about when it's time to see a therapist. By the way, saying hi to Ruby Manessa. She says she's listening while stuck in traffic. Thank you for tuning in, Like FM. All right, so tonight we're listing down the 8 signs it's time to see a therapist. This is from goodtherapy.org. Okay. All right, let's start with number 1. Number 1, overwhelm. You might feel like you have too many things to do or too many issues to cope with. You might feel like you can't rest even breathe. Stress and overwhelm can lead to serious physical health concerns. All right, so if you feel like you have a lot on your plate, maybe it's time to get a rest. Maybe it's time to go to therapy. So overwhelm, that's number 1 on our list. Number 2, fatigue. This physical symptom often results from our accompanies mental health issues. It can indicate depression. Fatigue can cause you to sleep more than usual or have trouble getting out of bed in the morning. Fatigue is actually, if you've listened to the show the other day, we were talking about depression versus sadness. Anyway, we talked there. We talked about some of the symptoms of depression, and this is one of them. So fatigue. So if you're too tired, way too tired, so tired that you just sleep a lot, that you just can't get up in the morning, fatigue is another reason to go to therapy. All right. So number 3, disproportionate rage, anger, and resentment. So rage and anger. Everyone feels angry at times. Even passing rage isn't necessarily harmful. Seeking support to deal with these feelings may be a good idea when they don't pass an extreme compared to the situation, or if they lead you to take violent or potentially harmful actions. Oh no. So if your rage or your anger is a little bit too much, especially when you're in a situation and you tend to be angry when you're not supposed to be angry, that's the time you should go to therapy. Number 4 on our list is agoraphobia. People with agoraphobia fear being in places where they might experience panic attacks or be become trapped. Some people may become unable to leave their houses. Okay, so agoraphobia. So you might even be, extreme cases might even lead you to not leaving your house. So if that's the case, maybe the therapist can come to you. There are some good therapists that actually go to your place of residence, to your house. So yeah, those are the first 4 on our list. Overwhelm, we got fatigue, we got rage and anger, and agoraphobia. So yeah, those are the first 4 signs. It's time to get a therapist. Later on, we'll be listing down the other 4. For now, be sure you answer our question of the night. What do you think about getting or having a therapist? Connect with us. We are on Twitter and Instagram at LikeFM1059. Facebook, that's facebook.com/1059 Like FM. Viber. We want to hear your messages here, 977-751-1599. And we do have a phone line if you want to call us and hear yourselves on air, 706-1582. All right, so the second half of our 8 signs, it's time to go see a therapist. That's coming up later on. Do tune in for that. But for now, we're giving you more of the music here on the best of the 90s and beyond, Like FM 105.9. Therapy can help you sort these things out. So you're talking to a mental health professional, someone who knows their stuff. So, and you sort them out with a professional. Yeah, and it can help your well-being. And with that, this has been Ellie. This is a show about mental health, and I hope I helped you even just a little bit. And you're listening to the station that plays the best of the 90s and beyond, Like FM 105.9.